Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so today all of you know we are in the chapter dash. Which chapter?
11.
11. And the name of the chapter? I want each one of you all to open the book and at least see the heading. The name of the chapter. Okay, what is the name of the previous chapter? Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Is my voice audible? So the 10th chapter is called the opulences, right? So this chapter is called the universal form and there is a direct link. So chapter 10 is the theory class, right? And this chapter is the practical demo. So all of you shift, today is a movie of what is live, right? It's a live, I always tell, your mood has to set to what Bhagavad Gita is talking about. So in chapter 1, we all travel to the military place, right? Where into Kurukshetra, where the war was happening. And say, likewise, this particular chapter, we will all be traveling to the place, but then we are going to see this movie, right? So all of us are sitting and we are going to watch because till now it's only Shrunu, right? Which means that we were only listening. And from today onwards, we are going to virtually see. Right? That is what is going to happen. And before that, let's start off with Mangalacharan. And also, I would like to continue the Mangalacharan after that with, the second verse of Chaitanya's Shishtastakam, second song. I think the first one we chanted last week, right? Is that right? If it is yes, type yes. Otherwise, I will do 1 and 2.
Yes, yes.
Yes, right? Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So we'll do the second shloka. So let's start off with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Timrandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Swapadatikam Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagat Gopishu Gopika Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Vrindavaneshwari Vishvarupa Devi Pranamani Hari Priye Cha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsati Gaura Bhakta. All of you, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on, all of you, not a question. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, as I said, let's chant the second stanza of Shishtastakam. So, quickly, I'll start with 1 and 2 for those who missed last week. Hare Krishna. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadevani Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandambudi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swagatam Sarvasma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuja Nija Sarva Shakti Tatra Pitani Amrite Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Kavat Bhagavan Mamapi Durdeva Mitrisham Iha Janunanuraga Hare Krishna. Can someone read the second shloka meaning? I've highlighted.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
Hare Krishna. These are the 8 stanzas, 8 verses which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang. He lived for 48 years. First 24 years, he was in the Grahastha ashram with his mother and his wife. And the next 24 years, he took over sannyasi and he moved on. So we saw last week stories of Chaitanya. And what are we talking about here is his Shishtakam. Ashtakam means, 8. And right, so he is actually giving only 8 in his entire life. These are the 8 verses he gave. And it's not that he knew less, he was a Sanskrit Pandit. In 2 years, normally Sanskrit takes about 10 years to understand and be clear on the grammar. But he, in 2 years, became a stalwart and gave only this. So you can understand how important these 8 verses are. And since this month is Krishna's month, I mean Chaitanya's month, we will glorify Chaitanya with this Shashtakam. And thank you so much for listening to me and bearing with me. Hare Krishna. So now we are on to our chapter of the video, universal form, right? So universal form is nothing but a demonstration or a view of what has been spoken by Krishna so far. So, Arjuna is blessed with his universal form and so are we. So let's pay our obeisances to Shashi Radha Govinda and a quick summary of the 10th chapter. So 10th chapter, 10.1 to 7, Krishna's position as the, what happens? Krishna's position as the origin of everything, right? He is the origin. We know that Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Adiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So he is the origin, he is the beginning, right? Starting. And 10.8 to 11, I think we started learning, right? We did the first shloka. Today we will do the last shloka. Start learning that. Chatur shloka, which are the 4 shlokas. Now come on, I'm going to ask, what is the speciality of Chatur shloka? Hare Krishna, please unmute. Usually I'm very sleepy in the evening only, after 8 and after 9 is impossible. But morning I'm generally fresh, but please don't make me sleepy. I want you all to be active. It's okay to be wrong, but please participate. Hare Krishna, Chatur shloka. What are these Chatur shloka? You can unmute yourself, yes, or you can type in chat.
They're the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita.
Very nice, thank you so much. Yes, Mataji, it's a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita, a little more. So what did 10.8 talk about? What does 10.8 talk about? What does the 10.8 talk about?
That
Summary
Krish-
is,
yeah,
where do you start?
that Krishna is the source of everything.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So thanks, Mataji. So Krishna is the source of everything. So that talks about starting, which is the right. So it's a sambandha. What is the relationship we have with Krishna, right? So that is sambandha. And so 10 point, that is 10.8. And what does 10.9 talk of? 10.9 talks about the abhinaya, right? So which means that what is the process? What is the procedure to achieve? And finally, the prayojan, which is the 10.10 and 11, 2 shlokas talk about the goal. And goal is Krishna, right? We also saw, right, object of knowledge. We did study, right? No, we have not studied. It will come in the 13th chapter. So it's Neyam. So which means Krishna is the ultimate goal. So that we studied. And we also started memorizing 10.8 onwards. And today we will try and chant 10.11 because it's the ultimate goal. So we will go to that. So between 10.12 to 10.42, Arjuna's acceptance and his request. Right? So Arjuna accepting that totally. That's why he says, Param Brahma Parandama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Majam Vibhum. Hare Krishna. And does he stop with that? No. He also gives a testimony, right? He says that not just me, Austam Vishye Sarve, Devashi Narada Tata. Narada says, Asito Deva Vyaso, Asisto Deva Rishi, Vyasa Deva, Swayam Cheva Bhavishime. Now you yourself are telling. So he is giving complete testimony besides him. Otherwise, you will tell, acha, okay, Krishna was doing all this, right? So that's why. So this is what is the chapter 10. And today, 11, what we are going to see. Now, Krishna spoke about opulences, right? So we were all very thrilled. Shunu, we heard. You saw this sloka also, Param Brahma. So Krishna was completely satisfied. Now, where is this issue? Where is this chapter 11 coming from? Because of Krishna, Arjuna's interest, right? Now, Arjuna gets very curious. Oh my God, he has so many opulences. Now, I've never seen it. I know Krishna is great, but can I have a view of this? And he says, hey, Krishna, show me. He doesn't do that. That's what we do, right? Hey, switch on the TV, switch off the fan. That's not his tone. He says, if you desire, we're going to see that. And 9 to 31, Sanjaya description of universal form. Because this universal form is seen by Sanjaya. Remember, even though Sanjaya is with Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya is a devotee. Right? So he will also relish the universal form, no matter where. So this is a very important point, that an atheist is there with you, right there, okay, next to you. It doesn't matter. If you're a devotee, you will enjoy and relish the presence of Krishna. And we also saw our little Prahlad, right? So 10.32 to 3.4, quickly from the Vishvarupa, which is also called the Virat Rupa, he changes for a second to Kala Rupa, right? So which is time I am, and become my instrument. Sarvya Sachi, we already saw, right? Instrument. 35 to 46, again Arjuna offers prayers, but let's see what's different with these prayers. And 47 to 55, what happens? Only pure devotees can see, which means Arjuna saw and we are also pure. We can't be claimed as pure devotees, but we can call ourselves as Shukriti, right? Sometimes it's like this, you're walking and you're just thinking, you're feeling very bored and you're just walking and your neighbor suddenly says, hey, come, let's go to the temple. Now this thought is not yours. The neighbor is taking you by car. The car is also not yours. The petrol is also not yours. And you're bored and that boredom is also filled. But you go to temple, right? So you are getting the darshan of Krishna and you get the credits, right? Or does Krishna tell, hey, you didn't come, okay? You came OC car, OC petrol, OC time. Therefore, credits doesn't. What does Krishna tell? Does he give you credits of going to the temple or it's off? He says, forget it.
He does. We do get credit. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So we do get credit, right? So why do we get credit is because of the fact that we are not the initiators, but just because we are with them, we also get that Sukriti. That's one thing. So therefore, Krishna in this also does the same. He says only pure devotees can see. And since we are associating ourselves with Arjuna, who is a very pure and an exalted devotee, we are going to see sitting right here the Vishvarupa or the Virat Rupa of Krishna. So imagine you are in a movie theater where you're having a multi-dimension. I think we have up to 7 dimensions, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I last remember seeing a 7-dimensional show. So that's a max I think we have. This is a multi-dimensional, front, side, back, and I'm telling this particularly because you will see this when you relate to Arjuna's prayers. Right? So we will cover A, B, and hopefully C. Arjuna requests Krishna to show him that all-pervading form which he spoke of in chapter 10. Right? So Arjuna is talking about the all-pervading form, and he's speaking about this in very clearly in chapter 10. So what does he say in chapter 10? Right? He says that it's opulent. So here he's going to show it. And Krishna first describes his universal form. Again, he takes theory class. Why? So now when you are going in for a swimming or driving, you'll always see somebody giving you instructions, right? You go straight, you keep to your left. Or swimming, you have to, go inside, breathe like this. Even scuba diving, they say, just do this. If there is a problem, you do this. All this comes down, right? Why? Because the theory is very important. Shunu becomes first. That's why Shravanam comes first, hearing, right? And then only you chant. So he then bestows upon Arjuna the divine eyes. So what happens? Divine eyes is given to Arjuna. So that is like your 3D movie. I already told it's multidimensional. So this, to see this Vishvarupa, it's not enough to see with our 1 dimension, 2 dimension, whatever you call your eyes dimension as. So we'll have this, right? So let's start off. Hare Krishna. Whoever wants to read can raise your hand. Don't have to ask me. As usual, you can start chanting. Hare Krishna. Arjuna uvacha mad anugrahaya paramam tuyam adhyatma samchittam yatva yokatam vakastena mahoyam vigato mama. Hare Krishna. Yes, Kartika Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, I have heard your instruction on confidential spiritual matters, which you have to kindly deliver unto me, and my illusion is now dispelled.
My illusion is now dispelled. What illusion is Arjuna is in? First of all, okay, his illusion is dispelled, but what is his illusion in the first place? Does Arjuna feel he is God?
No.
Now his confusion about the battle.
That is one, okay. That he got it sorted initially itself. Na? Second chapter itself, he was convinced. After the second chapter, technically Bhagavad Gita got over, but since we can't pick up in 2 chapters, 18 chapters went by. So by 5th chapter, he was very clear, right? Tell Ekam Vada, he tells in the 3rd chapter, and 4th chapter, he gives transcendental knowledge, Krishna gives. 5th chapter, he talks about doer, and 6th chapter, he says, you can approach me. So the first module itself, he was clear. So what is this illusion? Mataji, but you are right. It all started with the battlefield, but he's answered this and right. So what is the illusion now which he's talking about? So we'll see that now. So by hearing everything that Krishna has said, Arjuna's illusions is removed, right? So the effect of hearing the most confidential knowledge. So what is the effect of hearing the confidential knowledge? And we saw that 9th chapter is the most confidential knowledge, right? We have Guyam, Guyatamam, and Guyataram. So basically the most confidential knowledge, he says that Krishna's supremacy is revealed. Because so far, Arjuna, what happens is in chapter 7 onwards, he starts speaking about his energy, right? 7.4 is his external, which is, what is the external energy called? What is the external energy called? What is the external energy of God called? You can tell in English or Sanskrit. I can't hear. It's the Antaranga Shakti, right?
Yeah.
External energy. And that is, in the chapter 11, Krishna reveals as the cause of all causes. What is the cause? Right? So we saw that, the first shloka, right? He's a reason for everything. So what is the illusion Arjuna is having is basically the cause of what, right? So this is one doubt which we all have been having. So he's cause of all causes, which includes material nature. 7th chapter, he says this external energy is only the material nature. And this Tata Shakti is the living entities and all demigods, right? And this Antaranga Shakti is the incarnation. So cause of all this. So cause of all causes means all these. So many of you have a doubt on what this cause of causes means. These are the 4. So with these 3 Shaktis, all he has caused. So that is what it is. And Arjuna's delusion, how it is dispelled is now Arjuna recognizes him as a supreme power. And what is his illusion? His illusion is Arjuna, Krishna is just a friend. Krishna is a human being. Krishna is my cousin. This was his illusion. Because all time he was with the Yoga Maya, which covered him, which gave him a feeling to forget Krishna as a supreme person of God. He never forgot Krishna even for a moment. But he forgot the fact that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. Why? Only then he can do everything. Like when he go and tell, hey Krishna, do it. Like there were a lot of loving exchanges between them. So every time Krishna, asks Gandharva bow from Arjuna to fight or, for small things, when they go to forest, to hit a fruit or something, Arjuna used to laugh. Because he always used to feel not proud, but with your cousins you do, right? Hey, come on, let me teach you maths. And if your cousin is a MSc maths, you'll feel, okay, come on, enough, right? So that kind of a feeling, right? So Arjuna is obviously a stalwart. No doubt Krishna is also. So, but Arjuna used to like make, that the little fun which they have. Because Krishna is winning is not about always winning the game, right? It's all, sometimes you win by losing. So any of us who have children, or when you play with small kids, many times we've lost. Yes or no? Have we lost when you play a game to a small child who's 3 years or 5 years? Hare Krishna.
Yes. Purposely we lose.
Yes. So do you enjoy the losing or do you feel, oh my God, I've lost?
We enjoy it.
because
Convey
you want to
happiness.
see them win. Yes. So likewise, Krishna is not that he's missed his aim, but many times to make his devotees win, he has lost. Even with Gopas, when he was with Gopas, he has lost so many times the game. And Gopas used to make fun of him. He used to tell that, hey, Krishna, you lost. And same way with Yashoda Maya, right? Yashoda Maya used to get so angry. So Yoga Maya is Maya, which is very spiritual, transcendental Maya, wherein it makes you forget the fact that Krishna is your supreme person. Okay, but we are not in that. We are in Maha Maya, where we forget Krishna only. Because only if we forget Krishna, we can enjoy. Wow, I love this, coffee. If I remember Krishna, I can't drink the coffee because you will think Krishna does not like coffee. Therefore, I want yoga, Maya. What Maya is Maha Maya, which is material nature. Only then I can relish everything around me. Only then I can tell this is my house, you get out of my house. All this I can tell. This is my cabin, you get out. All we hear either from the house or from the bosses of our office, right? Sometime or the other, or most often from the school teacher. Get out of my class, right? So all this. So this is what it is. So two important things. What is the illusion? Illusion, the fact that Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He has a human form, but he is not a human being, which is very clearly spoken in Ishopanishad 8th mantra. Hare Krishna. Saparyaga chupramakaram avranam yashnavidam suddham apapaviddham kavi manishi paribhu swayambhu yata tatrato artan vyadadakshashvadivya samapya. Clearly telling that he is the supreme person, right? Material nature talks about living entities, all demigods, all of them are the cause of all causes. He is the cause for everything, whether it's material world or spiritual world. Now Krishna is very curious. Show me the universal form, which is going to ask in 3, right? So now please read 10.2, 3 and 4. 10.2 and 4. Yeah, please read.
O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, as realized through your inexhaustible glories. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see here before me your actual position, I yet wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that universal self.
Hare Krishna, look at him, so nice. Thank you so much, Mataji. So he's telling lotus eye, patram, right? So this patram comes so many, his kshetra, right? His eyes comes in so many places, right? This lotus eye, so beautifully he describes this in so many places. So many places, because a lotus eye describes that his entire body is so beautiful. Right? He says that I have heard in detail, because he already spoke about his appearance, disappearance, everything. He gave his knowledge. So, and also realize you're inexhaustible. You can never finish, right? You start with your opulences, he ends, right? By the single fragment, I pervade, right? So what is the point in knowing? So he says, okay, with the single fragment you pervade. So show me how you pervade, right? That he becomes. So he says, the greatest of all personalities, I see here before me your actual position. I understand. So that's why I've offered prayers. But now, how did you? I want to see how you entered cosmic manifestation. With the single fragment, I entered. So how did you enter? I want to see that form with which you entered. And that too he requests, right? He says, if you think I can bestow, kindly show me the universal form. Now Arjuna has asked, and Krishna can Krishna say no?
No.
Can Krishna say no?
No.
So
Yes, he can say no.
He can say no, but he does not say no because he is very close to Arjuna, and therefore he can never think of denying the wish of his devotee. So in text 3, thank you, Nataji, Arjuna expresses his desire to see and support the universal form. So why Arjuna requests? It's not that he is doubting. One is for his personal, or can anyone guess why Arjuna wants to see? There's no right wrong answer. You can always tell wrong answers also, because I won't be disappointed because I've not yet taken this class. So please go ahead.
So that we will also know how he looks.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji. So to establish one is divinity to all, he wants to show everyone that, his divine thing, what you said, we want to show. So we are there in this classroom and we know Krishna is great. So that's one. But second thing, there are also many jokers who don't believe, right? So to convince others, although he does not have any personal desire, it's not that he wants to prove, but then he wants him to show it so that others can also see. He's completely satisfied to see him in his personal form. Because Arjuna is very happy in the personal form, which we will see towards the end. But still he wants this universal form because he wants to relish that moment and he wants even others to see this, right? So for them, to convince everyone. To avoid imposters is a very beautiful point. Today there are many people who say, I am God. Okay? I am God. So he wants, so if anyone comes and says, I'm God, you should say, sure, but can you show me Vishvarupa? Forget it, at least show me Vishvarupa, which is the four-handed form, right? Also, Arjuna wants to substantiate that Krishna is not only theoretical or philosophical, but actually he can practically demonstrate. So there are four things which people will tell. Chuma is talking the standard language we use, so he's not Chuma talking. He can display any frauds. You can ask him. You can ask him to show. Also, he does not have any personal desire and to establish. Now, all of us will have, not us, but then we have a lot of people around us who will tell, maybe, Krishna spoke so much. And because Krishna spoke so much yesterday, I also got Krishna in my dream. So maybe even you're getting, Arjuna got it in his dream. Maybe in the war field of the war, you have 65 crore people. And midst of the 65 crore people, Arjuna slept. Some jokers will talk like that, right? So what they say is this universal form was not only seen by him, also by Sanjaya and also by the various devatas, they're able to see this universal form. Okay, so remember, even devatas only hear the voice. Brahma is the highest. He can also hear only Vishnu. When he goes and approaches, he only hears Vishnu, right? Krishna, sorry, he only hears Vishnu. So this particular form, they are able to see. So this universal form is so special because they are also able to see the form, and Arjuna pleads and does not order. That is a speciality of Arjuna, unlike us. Because what is the qualification to see Krishna's form? What is the qualification?
Devotion.
Devotee, thank you so much. Yes, the only qualification is by revelation, by mercy of Krishna. Right? You cannot do through devotee. What you said is so perfect, right? So you have to be a devotee and you cannot mentally speculate, or you can't try to perceive it with your mental senses. So that is why, Lord is called Yogeshwara. So 11.5, Mataji, please read. Hare Krishna.
Blessed Lord said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pratha, behold now my opulence, hundreds of thousands of varied divine forms, multicolored like the sea.
He sees now hundreds and thousands of the form, not just one, because remember, there is no one universe, there are multiple universes, and Krishna is showing, is going to show, not showing. So he is now giving a preempt. So Arjuna tells, Krishna tells, behold, one more time to Arjuna. Can you recall when did he say behold? Once more he says behold, and I want to show you all this one more time. So there was one time which is very important. He says behold. Can anyone recall when is this? Any guess? When did he say behold?
When Arjuna said that he is not able to fight anymore and he will give up because of shivering and like the weakness of heart.
Close to that. You're there, just here, a little bit up. But you're there. Thank you so much. Thanks for trying, Mataji. I'm so happy you tried. So when I ask a question, if someone answers, I don't really see whether you answer right or not. But this is a video call, Zoom call, and we are not able to see people each other. So I really get my energy only when you all reply. Because what will happen? You become monotonous, and I'll just say and I'll go, because I'm actually not a great teacher. I'll tell you about me later. But now coming to this, behold. So this was just before she said. So what you told is a feeling which we felt. But if you see the first time, right, in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all others, he says, right, take Senior Ubhayor Madhya, please take my Ratham right before. What happens is that time Arjuna's mind started thinking. So Krishna is the Paramatma, inside and outside, right? So he says, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled, just behold. He is giving that. So all the Kurus assembled here. So he's telling, behold, before his mind starts thinking. What you said is the after effect which we hear. But this is the mind voice of Arjuna even before Arjuna heard. So that is why we have to control. Mind is the worst enemy and we have to control the mind even before we really think of it, which is the greatness of Arjuna. That is why Arjuna is talking about, even before something is happening, he immediately takes a call and tells stop. Is what we will tend to do is we will immediately keep calculating, thinking, and we'll allow mind, and it will come like Ajamala. Ajamala also wanted to control his mind, and he said various prayers, but then he was not getting out of it. So that is what Krishna was telling. Behold, just get out. The more you stand there, you will also be carried away by illusion. So we did this second one. And 11.7, whenever you wish to see, can be seen at once, whatever you want to see, everything you can see at once, the past, the present, future. So you can show you all that you desire. Everything is complete, right? However, Arjuna, you cannot see with the present. Because now this is a very conflicting statement. You cannot see, is Arjuna's eyes low? No, it's powerful. However, we will discuss this again at the end of the chapter. To see this multi-dimensional form, he needs a special eye, right? Which is called Divya Chakshu. Our seniors have also translated this as, you can't call it superior eye, because Krishna already had given superior eye, otherwise Arjuna won't be able to see the two-handed form, which is not visible even for the devotees. But this is a kind of eye to see the material manifestation, like a 3D glass from all sides. Right? So this is the glass, 11.8. Anenaiva swachakshushuha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyami yogamaishwaram. Hare Krishna.
But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Bhagavad Gita 11.
Right, so he is going to give this eyes, right? So quickly, 5 to 8, he shows his variegated forms. He has a vision of wonderful forms no one has seen or even heard. And the vision of this entire universe is seen here, of the past, present, and the future. What is needed, this is what I was telling, is divine vision, but lower level vision according to Acharyas. Why do the Acharyas say? Because two-handed form is the greatest form, and even demigods do not have access to see the form, right? And therefore, if Arjuna hand, it means that he's lowering his eye, is what Acharyas mean. So it is not a superior eye, it is trying to get another side of it to make it visible. In fact, they even consider it lower. So now we are going to see Sanjaya's description of the universal form. 9.9 to 13 is Sanjaya describes how Krishna bestows upon Arjuna the necessities for the vision, and Arjuna then beholds Krishna's universal form. Krishna's universal form of opulences and Kala Rupa. Hare Krishna. So 11.9. Sanjaya evam uttva tato rajan mahayogeshwaro harihi Darshayamasa Pataya Paramam Rupamaishwaram. Hare Krishna.
Sanjaya said, O king, speaking thus, the Supreme, the Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
So very clearly Sanjaya is saying that, oh Krishna, he's telling, Sanjaya is telling, he's giving an update, right? So he's giving to Dhritarashtra, and look at the face, right? Can you see how calm Sanjaya is? He's relishing, he's so calm. And look at Dhritarashtra's face. Always, this is what is the mood. Right? See, Sanjaya is in mood of goodness. And irrespective of being with somebody in the mode of ignorance, he is just not bewildered, because that is Krishna consciousness, right? So we saw this in the second chapter. Vivasayatmika buddhi ekeha guru nandana baushakya sanantascha. So what does it mean? Vivasayatmika buddhi means one thought, right? Having one vision. You do not have multi-focus. So today we have multiple. Now I want to drive car. Tomorrow I want to buy a house. Yesterday I suddenly get worried about that joker who came and shouted in the middle of the road. And on top of it, I think of my spouse who comes yelling for just keeping the fan on or gas not switched off. And on top of it, my son or daughter is sick, right? So many our minds are here, there, and that's what we do with japa, right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh my God, milk is boiling. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Oh my God, did I fill the app? This is how we think, right? But that is not supposed to be the way it is. Like he had fixed focus. So even if he was with this, nothing changed. So 11 point, Hare Krishna. Sanjaya said, O king, speaking thus the supreme, the Lord of all mystic power, the personality of God displayed his universal form. So he's displaying. Now these are the paintings I want you all to relish, because we are watching a movie and this is how the picture, you at least have a still picture, because these are pictures drawn based on the descriptions given by the various devatas, by some of our senior devotees who are artists, and there is a lot of devotion gone here, and there's a lot of painting. So this is one thing which I asked. I asked, and what is the difference in keeping? I'm not talking about the altar, but I'm telling about even in the hall and even in the room or wherever we hang some deity's picture. So I was asking, what is the difference between having a picture, right? Normally of a photo or a picture of a deity, all are same. But the difference is that the consciousness of the devotee. Someone who is drawing a deity or making a deity in ISKCON or many temples have a lot of devotion. They are devotees. Non-devotees don't do. So when you have so much of devotion, that passion goes into that. Whereas in our doll, yes, it is also Krishna, but that makes a difference. That is the difference between Prashad, right? So 11.10 and 11, Mataji. Hare Krishna, please read.
Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths and unlimited eyes. It was all wondrous. The form was decorated with divine, dazzling ornaments and arrayed in many grabs. He was garlanded gloriously, and there were many scents smeared over his body. All was magnificent, all expanding, unlimited. This was seen by Arjuna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. If you'll have a pen or a pencil, or if you can mentally calculate, do any of you all will calculate something in your life, right? In your house, probably for provisions, or maybe let's say you want to stitch a churidar. So you will calculate how much meter is there. And even Prabhuji's, if you want to buy a bed sheet, won't you calculate you need a 6x6 for your bed? Yes or no? You just go and close your eye and take something and come from the shop. What do you do?
Yeah, it is there very much.
You all calculate, right? So whether it's Mata or Prabhuji or a child, not very small, but of course someone who's going and buying will have to do the max either by paper or in the mind. So I want each one of y'all to give me an update on how many meters of garlands are required, or how many, same way, how much of food is required. And because we are seeing the Vishvarupa, right? So maybe we will want to pray Vishvarupa. So we need to have, right? So prayer means, I, Krishna, okay, I will offer water and keep 1 spoon of water. No, we can afford more than that, right? So you all are going to tell me by the end of today, because we are covering the Vishvarupa largely. So you're going to tell me how much quantity is required to offer prayers. Is that fine? Paper, pen, pencil, you can type in chat box, whatever, but I just need the number. So it talks about garlands. They talk about many scents. So all the scents, the sandalwood scent is what we talk. So all this, how much quantity? The quantity alone you all can write. You don't have to be max everybody. Please go ahead. 11.12.
If hundreds of thousands of sun rose up at once into the sky, they might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form.
So, we try seeing the sun. The one sun, we find it so difficult. Solar eclipse, we are advised not to see. So on Pongal, which is 14-15, right? So typically it falls then. Shankaranti. I think the whole India prays there. And that's the day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took up sannyasi also. So if you see, that time you do Surya Namaskar at least once in life. So that time when you see, it's so difficult. We do all this. And, we have these Orthodox Brahmanas who still do Surya Namaskar in the morning. So it's so difficult. Why do they say in the morning? So that the sun is not bright. Now, if I'm looking out of my window, it doesn't burn my face. What they say is thousands of such sun is present. That kind of effulgence is coming from Krishna. And that is why he wanted that cooling glass, the 3D glass. Now, tell me one thing. There is no tube light. There is no sun or moon in the spiritual world. How will we manage? This is the verse 11.12, because Krishna is having so much of effulgence that is so bright that people can't even see his face, and that's why Isha Upanishad, the devotees are offering Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pilitam mugam tatvam pushana pavrinyu satya dharmaya drushtaye. He's telling, please remove this Brahman effulgence because I have to see. Just remove this, is what he is saying. Because they want to see the beautiful face and not just the effulgence. Right? So can you see the face so beautiful, right? So that's what is 11.13. And this is especially for neophytes like us who need to see the opulence, power. because we believe in power, right? So if you are seeing alliance, whether it's a girl or a boy, you try and see the opulence of the person, how powerful. And then you don't just hear, you also go to the office to see whether he's wearing a blazer or whether he's wearing a shorts. Even if he's wearing shorts, it's okay if he's a CEO. But even if he's wearing a blazer, if he's a peon, we reject alliance. Yes or no? Mataji, come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Or are you all okay in getting married to a sweeper with a blazer or a CEO with the shorts?
CEO with the shots.
Thank you so much. Right? Ideally, a CEO with the suit is the most expected wish, but most of the time, life turns out to be like Aadhaar card. Right? What we see and what happens is very different. So this is demos, right? So Krishna is showing the form so that we will fall in love, and that's for the neophytes. And we are all neophytes, so it's for us. So 11.13, yes, Kartika Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord, the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
Hare Krishna. This is my most favorite chapter. I should have always said this at the beginning. First time I was asked to take up this chapter in the middle when my teacher was busy for the advanced class. And, I took off straight away, and I just realized, I always liked it, but I just realized that it's so nice, right? This one particularly, I don't know why, maybe because it's a movie, though I don't like TVs much, I don't like movie much, but this movie is the best I have enjoyed. I hope you all are also enjoying, and I'm able to tell you and explain in such a way that you are also relishing what I feel. Yes or no?
True.
Yes,
Yes or
Mataji.
no?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. I keep checking this because I don't like to teach. I am not a teacher. And even for my kid, when I teach, right, even when I was teaching first standard maths, I used to tell 2 plus 2 equal to 4. 2 into 2 equal to 4. My mom used to tell, what are you doing? Are you teaching a kid or are you trying to explain to someone in your office? I'll tell, I'm teaching my kid. Can't you go slow? Can you explain in such a way that the kid can understand? So I used to tell my mom, I will explain my way. If the kid can't understand, then I will reduce my standard. Okay, so she was used to catching up with my speed. Sometimes she'll miss, so I'll go back. But most of the time, I used to go. So I have never been a teacher. I have never taught, and I will never teach also. So sometimes they used to tell, can you take tuition? I tell, no, I can't. Because 2 reasons. It's not about whether I can or I can't. It's just that I've never liked it. But I am really enjoying Bhagavad Gita, and that's because of you all. Right? So I think that's devotee association. That's the power, because Krishna will make you do things which you don't like and will make you enjoy things which you don't like. Right? And for me, that's why I keep checking with you all often, just to make sure that, is it that, me talking, because everybody feels their person, what they are is great. Like, for example, I always feel my Tamil is very good. Until others say that it's horrible, I don't know it. So likewise, I may be thinking that I'm doing a good job teaching because I'm enjoying it. But I would like to know if you all are also enjoying, or if I have to change my style, go slow, or, go limited. Am I talking too much, or am I digressing? So please keep helping me in trying to help you understand this better the way I'm enjoying. I want you all also to enjoy, and right. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So at that time, Arjuna could see the universal form of the Lord. It's so much, right? In one place, he's seeing multidimensional in all sides. So see, this is how it is. All sides, 365-degree view he is seeing. And 11.14. So can you see, he's sitting in the chariot and he's seeing everything, past, present, future, all sides, all universes, everything at one shot. Right? Everything at one shot. In fact, you can see that scientists also do. If you go to a planetarium, and I've been to Birla Planetarium, I've been to Flo, you can see the scientists trying to give you a gist of the whole world. Can you see? Universe, this is how Saturn, this is how the planets are, this is how our planetary systems are. Close your eyes, go back and see. Have you seen that? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji. We have seen it. Yes.
Yeah, so the entire universe is shown, and this is also shown, right? So that way, Krishna is showing the entire universe, right? So we are Anu, right? So scientists also try and imitate what is possible. So what Arjuna saw is what scientists try and bring inside the small group. But have you ever seen this kind of a movie from any scientist in the past? Do you think you'll see in future?
No.
No,
No.
no,
Yes or no?
Mataji.
Yeah, wish we could, but I don't know whether we will ever be able to come even close to this. Hare Krishna. Arjuna began to pray with folded hands and offering obeisances, right? Now, why Arjuna prays obeisances? What is he praying? We will see shortly. But rasa. So, what are the 5 primary rasas?
ಶಾಂತರಸ, ದಾಸ್ಯರಸ, ಸಖಿಯರಸ, ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯರಸ, ಮಾಧುರ್ಯರಸ.
Thank you so much. So these are the 5 primary rasas, and besides the 5, there are also secondary rasas. These are the 7 secondary rasas. If you know, you all can tell me. Otherwise, you can read. Hare Krishna, you can read here. It's laughter, wonder, chivalry, the pathetic feeling, anger, disaster, fearful. So, these are actually called hasya, adbhuta. Adbhuta is wonder, right? And veera, right? Chivalry. Arpuda is what Arjuna is going through. So every time, it's not that there is only primary rasa, you may have an infusion of secondary rasa. For example, wonder. Same way the Gopas, when they see, Krishna dancing on the Kaliya, immediately they feel wondrous. Wow, wonderful Krishna. Right? Veera, chivalry, he can see in the Bhishma. They exhibited that. Karuna. When did Karuna get exhibited is when Krishna did not want to get caught by Yashodama, and he started running, and Yashodama started chasing, and he wants to win, right? So he's not allowing Yashodama, so he's running, and he turns and he sees Yashodama is sweating and she's breathing hard, she's perspiring, and that time Karuna comes and he doesn't mind getting lost. So that rasa is exhibited by him also. So these, and mainly by the devotees, when does this Karuna exhibit is many times, right? There will be situations where they feel, oh my God, right? Krishna is so sweet, you get that feeling. And Rudra is anger. Anger also is exhibited. How? Hanuman, Rudra, he gets Raudra, right? Sorry, anger, Raudra, Rudra, both same. Raudra, Hanuman gets angry and he burns Lanka, right? Bhaya, fear. Who comes out constantly? Bhaya, he is ever thinking of Krishna in fear, right? And costliness, right? The disaster. For example, Shishupal, envy. All these are the various characters which are exhibited. So besides the 5 primary, secondary. Why am I saying this is because Arjuna is wonderstruck. Right? From his Sakya, he is like wonderstruck and he gets into that. So which is why he goes into prayers. And what does he say in his prayers? Arjuna speaks his realization of the universal form. We saw Sanjaya's realization of the form, and he's giving a description. It's more than realization. Sanjaya describes how the universal form is. Here, Krishna is going to talk about it. Now it's his turn. 11.15. Hare Krishna. S. Kartika Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, my Lord Krishna, I see assembled together in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and many sages and divine serpents.
Hare Krishna. So Arjuna is saying, oh my God, I see the various demigods and other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower. So he's able to see everything, or not just the different universes, but every plenary portion. Just imagine he's sitting, he's seeing Brahma in the Brahma Loka, he's able to see Patala Loka, everything, not just in one universe, but everyone. 11.16. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. O Lord of the universe, I see in your universal body many forms, bellies, mouths, eyes, expanded without limit. There is no end, there is no beginning, and there is no middle to all this.
Vaitamatsutam anadim anantarupam adyam purana purusham navayapvanam cha vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhakto govindamadi purusham brahmam bhajami. Hare Krishna. Brahma's prayers, right? He says, I see in your form many forms, right? There is no beginning, right? No end. And everything, you're the Adi, you're the first, and there is no beginning. We already saw causes, all causes, right? So that is what Krishna is saying. 11.17, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Your form, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs, is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, which is fiery and immeasurable like the sun.
Krishna. So he says that your form is with its various crowns, right? Clubs. Disc is Sanguchakra. Sanguchakra is called the time, and it's the greatest devotee. It has 1,000 spokes, right? It's very difficult to see because of the glaring effulgence. Imagine thousands of suns and moons are there. So it is having the glaring effulgence, right? So this is what it is, right? He's able to see all this, and along with that, we are also seeing Arjuna is very lucky, and so are we. We are able to see through Arjuna this. 11.18.
Hare Krishna. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the best in all the universes. You are inexhaustible. and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of religion, the eternal personality of Godhead.
Adi Purana Purusha, right? So he is the Adi, right? He is the oldest of all. And the same time, Nava Yavvanam, he is eternal, he is always young.
Hare Krishna. You are the origin without beginning, middle or end. You have numberless arms, and the sun and the moon are among your great unlimited eyes. By your own radiance, you are heating this entire universe.
Surya and Shashi, right? So Aditya, sun, and moon is, Shashi, right? So both are the eyes. They are considered as the eyes of. And why is so much description? So when you look at the sun, you are able to see, okay, this is Krishna's eyes. The purpose of opulence, purpose of Vishvarupa and Vishvarupa, not Vishvarupa, Vishvarupa or Virat Rupa, both are same. I think mostly south we call Vishvarupa, and north they use Virat Rupa, but both are exactly the same. Is a material form. See, it's a transcendental form, but it is there only in the material world. It is a transcendental form which is not there in the spiritual world. Please remember this. This particular form is not there in Vaikuntha, whereas Rama is there in Vaikuntha, Krishna is there in Vaikuntha, Narayana is there in Vaikuntha, Narsimha is there, Matsya is there, everybody is there. But the Vishvarupa is a transcendental form which is not available in the Vaikuntha. So if anyone wants to see it, you can see it only in the material world. You do not get to see that there. Now this form, I think Sham Prabhu missed. He right? He always relates so much to this. So as this Arjuna's description to Kala Rupa, we will see in the next class. Just once. Yeah. So this is what it is. So today, till now, we saw Vishvarupa. So what is that? Just 1 second. Let me just try. How much time? I think we have time. We'll be able to cover it. No problem. 11.20, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets of all space between. O great one, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all the planetary systems are perplexed.
He's telling that you're spread through the sky. So one small example of sky is an analogy. Why, when you can't understand, let's try and get something close. Not really close, but something which we can understand. So look at the sky for a moment. If you have a window, just peep in. Can you tell me where the sky begins and where it ends? Can anyone spot and tell me this?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
There is no beginning, no end.
Yeah, no beginning, no end. And you also see there is this horizon which touches, right, the sea. So that particular line, we call it as horizon. But is really the sky touching the sea? Is that ever, if I keep going forward, is there any point where the sea and the sky converge?
No.
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you so much. It doesn't, right? So one, oh great one, as I behold this terrible form, I see that all planetary systems are perplexed, right? So it's like going on, it's so huge, and you know what is happening, and especially this will have a bigger impact for Arjuna in Kala Rupa. Everything gets magnified. So if he sees the eyes become big. So he's able to see the macroscopic view, not microscopic, macroscopic, full view, and then each part gets completely, like as if you're seeing in a microscope, it gets enlarged. So both he's having a macro and a micro view of this.
Hare Krishna.
All the is okay. Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. All the demigods are surrendering and entering into you. They are very much afraid, and with folded hands, they are singing the Vedic hymns.
Imagine, when the teeth they see, all of them are scared. He's telling the demigods are surrendering. They're also watching. So there are enough proofs, not only Arjuna, but many saw this. And in the Bulok, you saw Sanjaya seeing it, Arjuna seeing it, and also Vyasa is the incarnation of Krishna and the teacher of Sanjaya who also saw it, right? And they are very much afraid, and with folded hands, they are singing the Vedic hymns. So they have started singing the hymns with folded hands. Point 2, he talks about who are all the various things which he can see. Please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasis, the Sadyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Asvis, the Martus, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Sham Prabhu, just notice you're there. You're so silent, which is very unusually you are. Is everything okay?
Yes, Mataji. I'm today just joined a little late.
I realize that.
Yes,
So
yes.
I did announce that Cham Prabhu will miss this class because it's so nice. Please recording because this
No,
is
no,
so
no, it cannot
important.
be.
So
Because
important.
I'm in a little journey, so I.
No problem. You can be silent, but you can see re-see this because this is really the Virat Rupa. We're talking about being in the material world, and Krishna is displaying his material opulences of this world.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All the various manifestations, Shiva, Adityas, Vasus, Sadhyas, Vishwadevas, two Ashwini Kumaras, right? The doctors, Maruts, the forefathers, Gandharvas, they are the singers, Yakshas. Can anyone tell me who is the head of Yaksha?
Kubera.
Thank you so much. Yes, Kubera. Don't forget the money. Money. So we can't forget, no? At least we are here. Asuras and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Okay, Asuras are scared, fine. But why are Devatas scared? That is what is the story of this Vishvarupa. It's like this. 11.23, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your many faces, eyes, arms, bellies, and legs, and your terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
So honest, right? So he says that all the demigods are disturbed, seeing so many faces, eyes. When he says thousands of faces, obviously multiple two is the eyes, right? Bellies, legs, and so all demigods are the first. So am I. So he's saying I am also disturbed. So beautiful, Arjuna is confessing, right? And imagine Arjuna is not an ordinary person. You know, he is a Kshatriya. You can never see him getting scared because they do not even care about their life. But even Arjuna is so scared. So you can imagine what kind of a vision this offers. 11
Hare Hare Krishna. O all-pervading Vishnu, I can no longer maintain my equilibrium. Seeing your radiant colors fill the skies and beholding your eyes and mouths, I am afraid.
is very openly telling that after seeing your radiant colors filling the skies, you know, I am not able to take it at all. I'm scared. Literally, you know, I'm scared. So, I'm sorry. I'm scared and I'm not able to behold. So this is what it is, right? So this is the fear which he's having. So he's saying that I'm scared and I won't be able to take it further. 1 second, Mother. Just give me 1 second. Hare Krishna. I just wanted to quickly check. So we will stop with this because, you know, with this we will have to enter the next division, right? Kala Rupa. So that I don't want to leave the Monday morning with your Kala Rupa and make you all feel very scared and morose. So I thought I will finish, a portion of it. So I will just finish the Kala Rupa part of it. So I won't take time. I think in about 10 minutes we should be able to do that. So give a picture of it, you know. So we will try and see. A portion of this and see if we can just hold on till 34. We are in what, 20?
26 of us. Oh, sorry.
Another 5 more shlokas we should be able to cover. Yeah. So can you read this one? So now what is happening is Vishvarupa is a complete thing, and in between he shows a Kala Rupa, which is time I am, which he says when he says that, right, which he is telling at the beginning. See, Arjuna's description of the Kala Rupa starts with 11.19 to 31. So when he's saying Kala Rupa, remember, it's a ghastly feeling. It's like each time, everything I told, right? Every part you see becomes so manifested, and this is how it looks. It is beautiful, but you should also remember that there are certain things which is not really which we are used to, right? So we have seen Krishna being very soft, very kind-hearted. Kala Rupa, we are seeing the ghastly feeling, right? His mouth, he's chopping off, which we are going to see. And which is why in the Russian, like Church of Roman Christians, Church of Russian Council, they filed a case telling that this particular Bhagavad Gita, specifically addressing this verse, shows as if the God is so ghastly, trying to attack. If you see, for us, only Durga Ma is projected like that, and that is prayed by Tamas, not someone with Sattva-guna. But this is just one expansion Krishna is showing in the material world for Arjuna to understand how time, he can't control. But many, this was quoted as after all the things, this was the only thing quoted in the court of Russia. So we can see how people tend to find God, there are so many things. Instead of seeing things in totality, they leave and only see only things which are which is one portion of it. That's why we should read Shastras in totality, not just in one part. 11.26 Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please read. And others stay muted. Hare Krishna. Yes,
Hare Krishna. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, and all our soldiers are rushing into your mouths, their heads smashed by your fearful teeth. I see that some are being crushed between your teeth as well.
So he's telling that all the 100 sons of Drona, Bhishma also, right? Your grandfather, your most favorite, and your Karna. Imagine Arjuna is already upset because Bhishma is, though he is his grandfather, he used to call him as dad because he was very small. And for a long time, he used to call him dad because he taught him like that. Every time he used to tell, I'm not your dad, I'm your dad's dad. Right? So that's how was this bonding with Bhishma, because Bhishma personally took care of him because he was a fatherless child, right? I mean, he lost his dad very young. Personally took care of Pandavas, so this is what it is. And Karna, so he's telling all of them, you're not going to kill. It is anyways going to happen, and they are crushed. So just imagine you are there, and you're just sitting there in a movie, right? So we're all going for a movie. You see a movie, ghost movie, and you say, I'm not scared. I don't care. I'm very bold. And after a few minutes, lights go off, and you see something coming and grabbing one person about 2 meters away from you. How will you feel? You will be scared. Again, 1 second, you see another person grab, another person grab. So one by one, if it is going, and you see in the theater, somebody is crushing and the blood of that person coming in your mouth, how will you feel? How will you feel? Because
very scared.
Karna, Bhishma are all there in the war field. So these are your
Very scared.
and they are being crushed.
It's scary.
Reaction. Anirban, I know you're talking, but I'm not able to hear you. You might have to speak a little loud.
It will be very scary.
Scary, right? So that's the kind of feeling. So it's like a dual horror movie from all sides, multi-dimensional horror movie. Right now we have this Dolby sound or something where from here the sound travels to that speaker and gives you a very live effect. Now just imagine from here the ghost travels and really eats two people and picks two people, right? So that's the kind of a feeling, everybody over there, especially everybody, Devatas are having, and that is why they are scared. 7.28, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. As the rivers flow into the sea, so all these great warriors enter your blazing mouths and perish.
There are two analogies given here. One is the river flowing in the sea, right? This is the analogy of the river which is flowing into the sea. And there is another analogy of the moths entering into the fire. Are both same? You all can tell me. Are both the analogies same or are they different?
Both enter their destiny.
Are they similar?
No, not Mataji. No, Mataji, they are not similar.
Why? Why, Prabhu?
Because here in mouth's case, that is the lust, and whereas in the sea's case, that is it is reaching its destination.
That's the difference. So the moth gets perished, right? So typically for somebody like a Karna or someone, they're getting burned. Whereas for someone like Bhishma, right? So because here they're talking about both the soldiers. So for Bhishma, he is like going to be merged, right? So when a lake enters into the sea, it looks like merging, but even their molecules, water molecules are distinctly apart. And it doesn't get destroyed. It only converges and becomes bigger. Whereas if a moth enters, it's the end of the world. So this is what is very beautifully explained. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing. And 11.29, he explains more. Please read. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire.
He says all people are rushing in full speed, right? They are going in top speed, gear into the mouth. And this is like they dash to the blazing fire, right? So this is automatically happening. It's like they go into this fire. It's like literally imagine like a volcano, everybody is going and he munching and the blood coming. It's a very yucky feeling, right? Point 30.
Oh Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays.
He's saying, I see all people from all sides. Right? in your flaming mouth. It's covering the entire universe, and your effulgence, right, is so terrible. It's so hot. Imagine on a hot sun you're burning, and if you have hundreds of suns, what will happen? We'll get roasted, right? Baked human we'll become. So he says that's a feeling I'm having. I'm feeling terrible, and I'm feeling the heat of that scorching rays.
Hare Krishna, O Lord of Lords, O fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisance unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I don't know what your mission is.
Hare Krishna, so beautifully now he is looking at Krishna and telling, who are you? It's not that he's suddenly questioning, but it's about perception change. It happens for us also, right? So especially when you when you go back to your school days and meet someone, and you know this person is so timid and suddenly has become so bold, or vice versa, somebody who's so bold suddenly becomes timid. You know, somebody says, who are you? Are you this person? So in my MBA, I used to be appearing to be timid. I was not, I mean, I was timid because the crowd was very different. So I always studied a girls' school, and suddenly co-ed and majority were boys, and I joined a month late. So I used to be so scared. So I just decided I will keep quiet, which is very unusual of me because I can do any vrata. I can be without eating or drinking water, but I cannot be without talking. But I was keeping a low profile because I was scared. So after that, when you try and meet them after a few years, you know, they say, Hare, is that you? Have you experienced, like many times you come across people, right, in your school days or college, is that you? Is that you? Who are you? Right? You feel the person is so different. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, in a lot of ways.
Yes, Mark. Yes,
So,
all the
so much.
time.
And sometimes it happens in our own close family member, even when it comes to your children, right? When you're very upset, or, you know, when your child comes and tells you, Mama, don't worry, you know, you can manage. You tell, oh my God, is that you? I can't even imagine, you know, a 2-year child crying, you know, now comes and tells, Mama, you can do it. Right? It is like, oh my God. And this is, you know, this was very stunning. We have these experiences, right? So can you even think of somebody like this, right? In our life, it's like a real-time situation. Arjuna has great fear, asked 2 questions because of that. Who are you is one question. What is your mission? Why is Arjuna asking this question? Because he knew Krishna as a friend and a supreme person, but he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited. So many things are coming up. So he's now getting confused. Who are you? Why have you come here? I know you're a God. That is why I offered prayers. Param Pramara Brahma Parandama Pavitra Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. He's offering prayers, right? And this is what I said. Kala, this is a reply which Krishna is going to give, and we're going to hold till tomorrow. As I said, I don't want to finish with the Kala, which we will see tomorrow. So this is what it is. And Arjuna is so bewildered. Who are you? You know, I thought you are my cute little friend who keeps fighting with me, sleeping, punching, eating food, right? Who are you? I just can't even imagine who you are, because I know you're God. But so many things are happening, you know. Am I underestimating you? So that is a pitch of Krishna, Arjuna to Krishna. So that is a stunning thing. So this chapter is visuals, the first visual, and that's why he says Pashyati. So see. He also says one thing throughout this chapter, you know, we are able to see, and when we see Krishna, now we can relate, right? When you see Krishna, we are going to see so many things, right? We see sun, we can think it's Krishna. When we drink, already it started off in the 7th chapter when you taste water, but from the 7th chapter, it's more jnana. Now we'll get into Vijnana, because seeing is what we believe, right? Pratyaksha Praman. So today we are seeing and we will start feeling. So now when you see, trust me, from today onwards till the 18th chapter, you will be able to feel somewhere, some part, one moment of something in your life, you'll think of Krishna. It could be a pen, it could be a sun, it could be a sky, it could be water, right? And I'm going to ask you all tomorrow this question, that what you saw today, and that you're going to tell me tomorrow, which made you think of Krishna. So that's a work which we have, and we have 26 people. Please don't bunk. It's not such a tough question. And if you couldn't relate, it's fine. If not now, second time in your level 3, you will still relate. So it's sooner or later. So you are, I'll be happy if you can share your experiences tomorrow as to what particular thing through your day made you think of Krishna. Which particular aspect? It could be anything. It could be water, it could be sun, it could be sky. As I say, it could be even a dog, it could be a friend, it could be a person who's shouting, you know, anything. So you will tell me your realizations tomorrow. I'm just looking forward. And with this, I will end the chapter, and you can type your doubts in the chat or ask me once again. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpadrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha Titana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All of you join, please. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I will tell you a story from Chaitanya Charitamrita long. Last time I told you a summary, right? Did I not tell you a summary of Chaitanya Charitamrita story?
Yeah, you told a summary.
So I will tell you one story, one long story, which last time there was somewhere asking a long story. I will tell you. But before that, let's take the doubts. What are the doubts?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, actually one thing which is, since long I have been thinking I should ask. In South, there are temples, Lord Shiva temple and Lord Krishna temples. But in most of the Lord Shiva temples, you find place for Krishna also. But in Krishna temples, Lord Shiva's, it is not there.
Mataji, it's always like that, no? Because Shiva temples will always have Krishna, because Krishna is the superior personality of Godhead, right? So they will always have Krishna, because Shiva plays on Krishna. So you need to have Krishna or Vintesh Perumal or Balaji, which will always be present. But for Krishna, everybody is equal. He may see Shiva as higher devotee because more from the fact of a trust. But for him, everybody is a devotee. For him, Shiva is also great. Brahma is also great. You are also great. So if he has to of all the devotees, then he has to keep 30. And he has to keep all the people in the spiritual world, and he has to keep temples for all of them, right? So I understand what you're telling. You are keeping both at the same level, which is not the fact. From young, it's because of our mental concoction that we have a feeling that Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma are same, which is not the fact. The fact is, Shiva himself is telling his wife, right? This is in Padma. Parvati is approaching Shiva and asking Shiva, whom are you meditating? He says, I always meditate on my Lord. I'm meditating on Krishna. So she says, okay, every Ekadasi, I tell the 1,000 names of Vishnu. And I am tired and I have a lot of work. And if I'm not able to tell, what should I say? So just think, Mataji, what would you tell? If your husband, you go and ask him, there's heavy rain, there's so much of storm, what should I do? What will your husband tell? He will tell, wait for me, I'll pick you up, or he will tell, cab and come. One of this he will say, yes or no?
Yes.
Will any husband tell that check for a guy whom you can trust and ask him to drop you? Is there any guy in the world who said this? Definitely not my husband. Tell me, Mataji, if you are having such husbands, you are very lucky, but you can share. If you don't want to, it's totally fine. But I'm just asking, do you have anyone who says that, okay, just check if you have a boss or any colleague of yours who's trustworthy, please, get onto his car and come home safe. It's not a wrong thing, but has any husband said that? Yes or no, Mataji?
No.
Right? So thank you so much for being so honest. Yes. So normally what happens is the Purushas, who are mini Purushas, also think they are the enjoyer. And even in the worst of condition, they feel that the wife has to take our help or be independent, but not think of another person, right? Or even take help for that matter. So that is the situation. But look what Shiva says, right? So what does he say? So the whole thing, Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Manu, he says that, oh my dear beautiful wife, if you can't say the 1,000 names of Vishnu, tell one time the name of Krishna. That is Ram. Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranana Tatulyam Rama Nama Varaname. Sahasranam, 1,000 name of Vishnu. If you can't say Sri Rama Nama Varaname Om Nama Iti, one time if you tell the name of Rama, that's fine. You can skip. It's like a 2-minute noodle. So everyone who's telling Vishnu Sahasranam, don't tell Rama Rama and finish off. Please tell also. But what we are telling is, he says that Shiva doesn't tell, hey Parvati, I am the Lord, pray on me. The whole world prays. He doesn't say. The conflict is never between them. The conflict is with us. We keep telling politicians create conflict, but we are the politicians, right? We are creating conflict every time. So even if you see, every time you notice Shiva gets into some challenge, because his chance of seeing the future is limited. And Vishnu goes to resolve the issues, right? And they have a perfect understanding. It's we who differentiate. You are a Shaivite. Are you a Vaishnavite? There's no such term. It's either Advaita or Advaita. Is there any term called Shaivite? That's something which is created. Is there anywhere in the Shastra it says Shaivite? They may say Shaivism, Buddhism. That is different. But there's nothing called Vaishnavite, Shaivite. There's only Vaishnavite, and Shiva is the exalted Vaishnavite. when Shiva himself is appreciating Krishna, where is the problem? Because we are always wanting to find problems. Hare Krishna. So that's the story, Mataji. Hare Krishna. That is why I can relate what you're saying. We had this Ganesha, you know, that the temple which they have in the apartment, in my previous apartment, and they were doing that Vigraha, right? They were reconstructing. So they were removing the Vigraha and doing a lot of puja. And they that time told Krishna Arpanam. So every time in any puja which is done, whether it's Krishna or Ganesha, they do, and which is what in Brahma Samhita also Ganesha offers prayers, right? Yad pada pallavi yugama vinidaya kumbha vande pranama samaye saganadi raja vignam vigatumalamasya jagatrayasya govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. Why does he say? He say that because he is taking prayers from Govinda and telling, give me the power to remove the obstacles for my devotees. That is why Nectar of Devotion says, you pray Ganesha, not that I will give you coconut, give me promotion. Telling that, please remove the obstacles. So even Shivaratri Mataji, we all prayed. Right? I told you all, right? I think I told in yesterday's class I went. Because Shiva is a very exalted devotee. And you pray Shiva to give him not 2 more apartments, not promotion, but give me Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay. But at the same time, Krishna also, even in Rameshwaram, Rama makes Shiva Shivlinga and he prays, not before going to Sri Lanka.
Not only Rama, even Krishna, when he comes here, there are things which they counter. For example, when Krishna comes here, they pray Vishnu, right? There. And that time he also sits there. And Radharani also says, pray no, and he will be thinking, what should I pray? So the point is, when they take the human form, they have given examples how they should live. Example, Krishna also has gone and taken 64-day training, right? That is in the material world. But in the Loka, there is nowhere Vishnu prays Shiva or Krishna praying Shiva. In the material world, they show various characters. When they take various rupas, they do dhyan on various things. For example, if they come as Rishabhadev, he is meditating on Paramatma because he is showing a path to pray God. Right? He is showing this is the direction. But there is nowhere in any Shastra it is written that Krishna or Vishnu prays Shiva. Nowhere in the spiritual sky. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, this Vishvarupa, except Arjuna, who else has seen Sanjay?
Yes.
Sanjay is seen and explained to Dhritarashtra. He's seen directly.
Prabhu, there are 5 people who saw the Vishvarupa, but it's in different form. This particular Vishvarupa, full version, only Arjuna has seen. But twice, Yashodama, when he was eating mud, right? As a small child, you know, when he was on the body, not even while eating mud, when he yawns also, she sees for a minute. And she thinks, okay, I'm dreaming. Second time, when the sun's covered, that time also he opened his mouth and showed Vishvarupa. It is not that when every time Krishna opens his mouth, but he showed it, he did display. But she was covered, she thought, okay, it's my child, forget it, it's my Brahma, right? Third time when he went as the peacemaker, right? Shanti Doot, that time he showed his Vishvarupa limited form. And even Duryodhana saw, along with that Dhritarashtra also saw, he had that eyes to see. But it's a very small version. But nothing happened, right? They continued to be asuras and only some people like Bhishma and all enjoyed. That is the third time. Fourth time you're seeing here, which is the full expanded form. Complete version of Vishvarupa is displayed here. Fifth time will be after the war. And there is Muni. And you're going to tell me the name of the Muni tomorrow. He will go and on his way, he will see this Muni. And the Muni will get very upset. He will say, you could have stopped the war. 65 crore people died because of you. Why did you do? Who are you? That time when he asks, he shows the Vishvarupa. To show him and prove to him that he is God. Right? So these are the 5 times he showed the Vishvarupa.
Yes.
This one, he says that nobody has heard or seen because this is the macro view. This is a mega picture. The rest of them are like the trailer, teaser. You know, teaser is something which is a smaller version and trailer is a slightly bigger version of the movie. But the movie is only known. The rest of the things were only trailers and teasers. Hare Krishna. And when Arjuna is seeing, all the devatas are seeing.
Okay, Mataji, actually, so far, the idea of showing this Vishvarupa is to say, yes, I am the, and everything, I am the, in totality, I am the Godhead. That is the idea of showing this Vishvarupa.
The idea is 4 things we saw, no Prabhu. One is to show materialistic people that I am God. Second is to avoid imposters, right? The people tomorrow, if they come and tell God, you should tell, please show me Vishvarupa. Because somebody will come and tell, I will take Vibhuti like this and give you. I will do 100 rupee note. Tell him, no, why 100 rupee? Give me 1 crore. Why when you can do 100 rupee? Right? So all this you should question. Second. And the third reason is Krishna is just not talking. Fourth reason, rather. Krishna is not just speaking, but he is really displaying all that. And for people like us who want to see.
Yes, to make to understand, yes, God is there and God is everything.
Yes, so all powerful, right? That's why I said neophyte. Pure devotees never asked, did you ever see Gopas or Gopis ever telling, show me Vishvarupa? In fact, when Krishna suddenly disappeared and showed the Narayana form, Gopis prayed and they were thinking, where is this Krishna? And Krishna is thinking, I am Krishna. They say, oh, forget it. I want the Krishna form. Even now, look at Arjuna, he's going to bring it up. He's seeing Vishvarupa, he will say, come back to the true and Prabhu, tell me one thing. For Modi, how does the mother of Modi see him as a son, or does she see him as a as a prime minister?
Prime Minister?
Does the Modi's mother see him as the prime minister? Or
no. Yes, son.
Does she loses respect for him if he wears shorts or veshti in the house?
No.
Right, but if he comes to a meeting with the shorts and a t-shirt, what you will do? Hurry, he's a prime minister, yaar. Come on, yaar. How can he come like this? Yes or no?
Yes.
See, it's very true. It's just not your. For me, I sometime back had a AST. I broke my hand. AC joint dislocation. So we are a family of doctors, and I came through a reference of a particular doctor who was a sports medicine doctor. Okay, and he can really resolve things fine. So I had this broken hand without realizing what it is, and I was driving my car on top of it. And one day in office, I could still see my head spinning. So my boss called and said that, hey, you do one thing, why don't you take the car? I don't usually use office car except for official purpose. So I take my car and put it there and use it. So he said, you do one thing, I've got my personal car, put my personal driver, take that and go. I said, okay. So I went to Apollo. So the doctor asked, is your pain severe? And I did mark yes. And when he looked at me, obviously I was then he took an x-ray, and the x-ray till then he told me to carry weights. When I carried weights, I could see my heads were spinning, I could see all Darshana there. And then he said, you never told me the pain is severe. You never told your hand is broken. I told, I never knew. I never knew in the first place my hand is broken. Because my perception of breaking hand means the moment the hand breaks or if it's dislocated, I will faint. And unbearable means I should breathe, I should swallow, because my imagination was very high. It was severe, so I put severe. And so was the doctor. The doctor was thinking someone who comes immediately should tell, ayo, amma, all that sound. So this is the perception which we have. So with this perception, for him the perception mismatched, so he didn't agree till he saw. So pratyaksha praman, so that is required. Now the other doctor, I went, right? The moment I entered, he was wearing a sports, he was wearing a t-shirt and a pant. And I heard, I don't even remember what I heard. The first thing I came out and I called my cousin. I said, first thing out of Apollo, I just called him. I said, I'm walking out. What? They told me to do a surgery. I'm walking out. He said, go home. What should I do? He said, he's a doctor himself. He was a surgeon. He was one of the chief plastic surgeons. He said, go home, eat and sleep. I said, okay, I will do that. Meanwhile, we'll figure something out. And this doctor came. And I came out and I called another doctor who's my dad's friend. And I said, doctor, this doctor? He said, yes, I know. Is he really a doctor? He said, why are you asking this? I said, he was wearing a t-shirt and a jean. He said, do you have a problem? I also wear t-shirt and jean and I come to your house. Do you ask me that? I said, because you come as my dad's friend, uncle. But, he is coming as a doctor. So he laughed. Okay, I will tell you. He was my, he was studying in the same college and he was my junior. So does this give you a confidence? And after that, he went abroad and he did whatever. And then he is doing sports medicine. I need so much of testimony to believe him. Right? Now, do I know? Don't I trust doctors? No, I come from a family of doctors. So I do believe in allopathy medicine. Right? Because all of them have been doctors. I've only heard that. But what happens? My visual, the moment it didn't match, I had a doubt. Oh, is he a doctor? Because according to me, a doctor means he should wear at least a full pant and a full shirt. Forget about whether he's wearing a blazer or not. Even if he doesn't wear steps, this is how he should present himself. Yes or no? All of us, right? So this is what
we
is
have
our
a concept. We have a concept that he should
Yes.
dress in this way. There is a concept by us. That
Prabhu,
it
little
should be-
louder.
Just a minute, Mataji.
Prabhu, I can't hear you.
We also not able to hear.
Yeah, Mataji, actually the thing is, we have a concept that whenever we go to somebody, he should wear in this dress. We should be able to see him. Like a doctor, when we meet a doctor, the doctor should not smile or he should not laugh in our concept. That he should not laugh. He should be very much, what should
Serious.
I say? Serious, yeah. Serious, like this person should be serious. Whenever we talk, he should listen, he should not smile. If he smiles or if he laughs, then he's not a doctor.
Yeah, we get angry also because we feel he's not empathetic, right? See, that is what I'm telling you. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for bringing. So this is our problem. We have we have an expectation about somebody's look also, and if the look doesn't match, we come and we reduce, right? So that's the same thing. So if Krishna had not shown Vishvarupa, we will not be convinced he is God, right? We will never be convinced because we need something very different which we cannot do. If someone is getting every time 100 marks, every time first thing will come in your mind is maybe he's smart, but before that what will come is this fellow or this girl cheating or something? How is it possible? Yeah, every time how is it possible? Same way promotion. Maybe she's talented, they will not tell, especially women when they work. I don't know what only she has here. I don't know what only she does here. This is the standard statement, right? From both men and women. So I'm not telling, sometimes people say that women are enemies for women, but I commonly say that universally, that's human form. The first thing which comes is, I don't know what only, is it even possible? Because sometimes certain things are very, very astonishing, right? And unless sometimes you see, you don't believe, right? So I have this cat of mine. We were in the 9th floor. Not my cat, obviously it was a street cat. When from the age of 3 months, the cat used to climb the lift, and I've told you this earlier, and used to come. Of course, it can't press the lift. It'll be waiting for someone to press the 9th floor. And whenever, probably when you go to 5th floor, it identifies and it sits in the lift. So it'll wait every day. Sometimes when we go down, it'll see us next to the lift. It keeps looking at us, right? And for 3rd month, we thought we'll adopt it. I never had the idea, but then I had this fear. Oh my God, if the cat, something happens to it, you have this feeling. And this cat has this thrishan in the top of the head. That was believable because everybody could see it. Now, it was very strange. Is anything, so when I do Bhagavad Gita, it comes and sits and hears. When there's Krishna book reading, it hears. When we chant Bhagavad Gita, it is. But when we sing one song, and imagine my horrible voice also it can put up. But if anyone, and my daughter can sing well, but if anyone sings very well also, any English song it doesn't like, it will go on mewing and it will, it will try and scare the person, like, I'm going to bite you. And it will not bite, but it will show all that expression. We thought it was coincidental more than once, but many times, even now, you take some movie song also, not necessarily English. Any movie song and sing, it gets very upset, right? And we play any song, it will keep quiet for a while. It will not fight or do anything. But if we move, it will come and try and jump on the laptop, which my daughter even believed. Because imagine these kids don't believe, right? So daughter, it will go on doing what it does on my laptop or anybody's laptop, we don't know. It constantly keep on doing until something about Krishna comes. Hare Krishna, then it will sit down on the laptop key. So that nobody disturbs that song. On the keyboard, it could be a chanting of Prabhupada's video, or it will be Krishna song, then it will keep. Until then, it will go on and on and on, and we'll be kicking the keyboard. Now, it definitely can't operate a laptop, right? So when I say this, right, some will believe, but many will tell, how is it practically possible? How will a cat do that? Even for a second, even we didn't believe it. And, many times, and my daughter said I started believing, because she's very rational. She's not someone who's going to believe. The current generation, they will analyze so much. So this is what happens, right? Most of the time, we have this thought that everything has to fit in our head. But sometimes normal things itself don't fit, and we find it difficult. So Krishna has to show his very powerful one fragment of it for us to believe he is God. Hare Krishna. Yes, Manjari Mataji, you can ask me definitely. Okay, your question you have typed. I have a question, Andreli, that's totally fine. The soul is believed to take a new body after death. So when we offer the rituals to our ancestors every year, where does it go? Because the soul is already in a new body. I hope I have explained, so beautifully explained. Yes, this is a doubt everybody has. Pitra is what you're offering. You are not offering to the soul directly. Basically, Pitra Puja is where you give the food, and what kind of food you give. Many times people get confused. They said, I offer. And someone even asked me, my grandfather liked alcohol. Can I give that because he loves it and I want to offer? No, you're not offering to your grandfather, you're offering to Vishnu. Because remember that your whomever Pitru you're doing puja, we believe they should have gone to the lotus feet of God. And if they have gone to the lotus feet of God, trust me, we all would be in the lotus feet of God, because God liberates families. So many generations are, back, forth, sideways, all sides. But the Pitru Puja is done for satisfaction of Vishnu. And you are telling Vishnu, please take my prayers, accept my prayers. I'm offering the obeisances to you. And if my Pitru, anything he's done, please forgive him and make him great. Make him, forgive and try and elevate him. So he may not go to the spiritual sky, but whatever curses he's done, Vishnu becomes happy and gives him some bonus points. So Pitra is for that. So you can continue to pray, right? Your Pitra is always your Pitra. Even if he has taken the body of another thing, you're still praying to Vishnu, and that prayer is for Vishnu. Yagna Purusha are two. One is Indradev, and the highest Yagna Purusha, enjoyer, is Vishnu. So you are actually giving that Yagna to your through Vishnu only. So you should ideally continue to give, because that's your dharma. Hare Krishna. I hope I've answered.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I have a doubt. Why do Krishna merges all these asuras in himself? Like when he kills Shishpala, his soul goes into Krishna. Like why is other Rakshasas also merges into Krishna?
See, for Krishna, right, let me first address two different questions. There are two questions. One is Shishupal. So Shishupal is, somebody asked this question last night about Vaikuntha. Do they come back to earth? No. Normally from Vaikuntha planets, once you're liberated, you don't. But if you make a mistake, like for example, they are in Vaikuntha and they are the Dwarapalakas, and all of you know the story, right, of Shishupal, of Jaya Vijaya, who are the gatekeepers of, right, and Sanat Kumara's sons of Brahma. They are small kids, but they are very old, but they don't want to populate the world, because they feel these are mysteries, and they remain as a 5-year child. They are naked but very exalted devotees. They were Brahmavadis. They never believed in the form of Krishna, but they smelled the tulsi leaf from the feet of Krishna, and they started feeling addicted to see Krishna. That is what Krishna reveals, right? So automatically they come and they are wanting to enter, and Dwarapalakas stop him. And when they stop, they curse, telling that you will take birth. And the story is big, so I'm stopping it here. But the 3 births which they take is, one of the birth is Shishupal and his brother. Andava. What is the name of Shishupal's brother? Sorry, I forgot. Hare Krishna. So therefore, when Shishupal dies, he merges into Krishna, because he has to take them back. He is very fond of them, and they are playing. These are his leelas, right? So they are in the pastime, and they take them back. And second thing is, even for Putana, when he drank the milk, the poison part was taken by Rudra, Shiva, right? So he feels that she's a mother, because when Krishna, I don't know, Sapariyaka Chukramap, right? But means what? He purifies, right? Apapa with them. That means he removes all the sins. So the moment he is there, you come in contact with Krishna, the person gets pure. So even if you come as an asura before Krishna face to face, comes and think of Ravan, they are seeing Krishna face to face, how pure they will become after that, right? And the way in which Krishna kills or Krishna liberates, both are same, because ultimately it's Krishna. So he knows how to take care. That is what he is going to tell in the Kala. Tomorrow when you see, you know. He is so all-powerful, and he will completely liberate. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, though they were so envious to Krishna, why will Krishna do it for them?
That is what I'm saying. Shishupal is it's his own, because these are the Dwarapalakas. They were devotees, and when Krishna comes, Vishnu comes out and he apologizes to the Kumaras. He says, "So sorry," and the Kumaras, apologize to him. They say, "So sorry, I should have come and told you, but I have punished them." He says, "No problem." They go and they say, "Sorry, we don't want this punishment." So he gives an offer: either you take 7 times you're born on the earth, or 3 times you see me face to face as my enemy and be in my pastime and come back. They say 3 times we'll see face to face, be your enemy and come back to you quickly, because we want to see you constantly. So all of them are thinking. You see, Shishupal also thinks constantly of Krishna all the time. Right? Right? It says what you think at the time of death. Shishupal is thinking of Krishna only, maybe in a negative way. So don't think of him that way. That's not a pure devotee. But that is why he was given Sa Yuja, which means he gets merged. Right? That means they are going to the Brahmajyoti. But obviously after that he picks them up, because he is his gatekeeper. So Krishna, why he has so many leelas. Even a slightest opportunity, he takes it favor. Right? So that is the reason. So the punishment is offered, and that way he gets liberated. That is the difference between Krishna and us. Hare Krishna. I know it's not convincing, It doesn't convince anyone, but these are Krishna's pastimes, and he does it, and he takes care of everyone. For him, everybody are children. So if a mother has a child who's a drug addict, who is very bad, and another child who's very good, what will the mother do? Will she think the drug addict is very bad, and will she poison? Will she poison him and kill him, or she will take care of him?
Take care.
Why is that so?
Because it's our children.
Exactly. So that's the same story. Because it's her children, she does that. Hare Krishna. So I hope the questions are over, and Neetu will praise Prabhupada's video. So sorry, Prabhupada's video, and story I'll tell tomorrow. It's getting really late. So Hare Krishna. So tomorrow we will finish fast, and I'll tell you a long story. Neetu, you can play Prabhupada's video. I will mute myself. Hare Krishna. One second. Before that, all of you one time Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.